doing Tusk first?
Yeah, we'll do Tusk first.
All right.
Kevin Smith. So the story behind this one is Kevin Smith. Of course, filming in Canada, for those who don't know, is a hell of a lot cheaper than filming in the States. Now, there's a lot of convenience and all that to filming in the States. However, the Canadian tax credit, depending on what province you're in, is extremely lucrative. Save you a lot of money. So when you're paying back cents on the dollar and then you're getting a credit back on any Canadian labor that you hire, makes filming in Canada very, very, especially Alberta, BC, Toronto, Ontario, quite lucrative. Of course, people all provinces basically have really great tax credits. I know that BC and Toronto, or Vancouver and Toronto, kind of vie for each other for most lucrative, and then you get like Calgary and Winnipeg that get a lot of it. And of course, if you're going to do extremes things, they go up to, I mean, the US, Alaska is the US, but we have a lot to offer here in Canada. And Kevin Smith, the story that I was told, that I read, which could be bilge or it could be bullshit, or is that this story,
it's going to be a great podcast already. This is going to be so good. Yeah.
This story was actually it was a news story about a guy who wanted to have an operation to change himself into a walrus. And Kevin Smith heard this, and Kevin Smith, of course, you can call bullshit on this, but this is what I heard. Said, fuck, we're making a film. This is the greatest story ever. Then he found out that it wasn't a true story, and he said, fuck it, we're making it anyway. So this is where this came from. So this one here has quite a cast. Now, this one here, to be fair, tanked. It probably goes down as probably one of Kevin Smith's weakest, probably not as weak as Yoga Hosers films. That said, there's a lot of entertainment to it, and I personally did enjoy it because I knew that was the story that I heard, and I have huge respect for Kevin Smith, who is also an alumni from Vancouver Film School. And recently, my son actually want to see something cool.
One time he was talking at you, and then all of a sudden he froze.
Yeah, that's the story. Bronson sent me. So Bronson was just at Comic-Con. My son Bronson, he's named after Charles Bronson. If you didn't know, he went to Comic-Con here, and for $250. Ah, fuck.
Oh, they're gonna block.
Oh, damn it. Anyway, you get the Clerks. There's my son. There's Kevin Smith. There's
who's that fat Jay?
There's fuck. I love Vincent Price, but it's costing me, motherfucker. Anyway, got his picture taken with all the guys from the Clerks, and Clerks 3's upcoming there, and I'm not even supposed to be here today.
Friend of the podcast, Mark Bernardin. Friend of the podcast, Bronson McDonald.
My son.
Friend of the podcast, Kevin Smith. Yeah.
Kevin Smith, Jason Mewes. Oh
shit.
Mark O'Halloran.
Yeah.
And Dante, who I've never fucking ever been able to remember his real name, but he's like my favorite character in the whole thing.
Dante Hicks.
Brian O'Halloran. Yeah, Dante. What the
Brian O'Halloran. There you go. You got her.
No, Brian O'Halloran is the other guy.
No, Brian O'Halloran.
No, he's the guy. He's the guy with the black hair and the goatee. I'm talking about. Oh, Randall.
Yeah, Randall.
Randall's the blonde guy, and I've never been able to.
Randall's the video guy.
Yeah, and I keep being told his name, and fuck me if it'll stick in my head. I cannot remember the dude's name. Anyway, Tusk. Justin Long has the lead here. Now, Justin Long, you've probably seen in shitloads of stuff, from Accepted to Drag Me to Hell.
Guy.
He's the Apple guy. So in the commercials with the PC guy. If you watch the season ender for Creep Show, Greg Nicotero season, he's in the final episode. That's all about the Horror Express, which again is a movie that we're gonna have to do on another show when I want to do all Hammer Studio stuff. If you like that idea, please comment below that you'd like to see that Hammer episode. Anyway, is a guy who comes to Michael Parks, of course, Quentin Tarantino's go-to guy, his favorite actor of all time. And I'd love to talk to Quentin Tarantino, and maybe everybody else knows but me and Rob why that is, why he's his favorite actor, what movie it was that made Michael Parks his favorite. Because as far as I know, I believe he played Jesus, or he was in the Bible or something like that. But anyway, I've grown to love him through Tarantino, that's for sure. Justin Long comes to him and agrees to be turned into a walrus. And the whole procedure is the whole leading up to it, I don't know about you, Rob, but it's so fucking uncomfortable. I remember, because I knew the thing is that with this kind of a movie is the big thing is that you know where it's going. You just have to, the journey to get there.
Yep.
And the journey to get there is so cringy and to me unpleasant, because you get that sick feeling is that, yeah, it's going to happen. Now, how is he going to do this, and how is it going to happen, and how's he going to get talked into it? Yeah, I almost equate it to like watching a Columbo episode where you know who does it, but how does he get caught? So with this one's the same way. You've got a great cameo from Johnny Depp in this one, almost unrecognizable Johnny Depp. Who else is in this one? I think that's it.
There's there's
Trying to remember.
Friend and name only, Genesis Rodriguez, and then the guy who saw dead people.
Oh, that's right. God damn that kid.
But they're on the out. It's Haley Joel Osment. But they're
Haley Joel Osment. Thank you.
They're on the outside looking in, right?
Yeah.
This one, forgetting how it was executed, whether it made $10,000 or $100 million or anything in between. This is one of the rare, well, not so much after this, but this is one of the first cases where I was listening to the podcast when Shithead thought this up. And we'll link it in the comments, but there's about a 25-30 minute podcast where him and Mosier literally come up with the script as they see the phoney ad. At the time, they don't know it's a phony.
They don't know. They realize that they figured that this was a real story.
They think this is horseshit, but over the 25 minutes, they come up with, okay, this is what we're gonna do. It's gonna be a little bit of Iron Man. It's gonna be a little bit of RoboCop, where he wakes up and it's his POV. And I mean, those two references alone, right? So all you have to, I mean, if anybody out there wants to make movies, this is not the only thing you have to see. But if you're gonna watch a couple of things,
commit to your vision. Commit to
no, there's nothing to do with vision. It's just
sure it does.
No, I pitch a thing, execute a thing, make a thing. Watch when Kevin, and we'll link it in the thing.
He will. I won't.
It's a team. When Kevin and Mosier come up with the script, and then it'll be a behind the scenes of them making the movie, and then it'll be the movie, and we'll just show you all three about where the first half hour. Smith goes, "This is a modern day Hammer horror. This poor bastard pulls off a fucking thing and gets turned in,
Aside from Jersey Girl, this is the only Kevin Smith film that's not a lot of fun to watch. Now, it's fun going in, but the dread that you feel, which is what this film is hoping to accomplish, I should say, where Jersey Girl wasn't. And I mean, even fucking Cop Out was fun. But won't talk about Jersey Girl.
Well, I'm just in on the sauce on this one, where it doesn't matter if he was turning him into a fucking walrus or he was turning him into Sharon Stone.
Oh, that's a
I knew where it was going, right? Like I remember listening to
going
the
in,
podcast going, this guy is making a movie.
Columbo
telling you how to make it, right?
Going through there. And I give him respect. I give him kudos for that, because he did his job there, and I thought he did it quite well. The thing is that it's something that I don't think the public wanted to see. Even the ones that were paying the tickets to come in there, they thought Kevin Smith, but I don't want to see this movie because it's going to make me feel uncomfortable. Now, I'll say this, is that Michael Parks is awesome in it. he is definitely the reason to keep watching it.
Justin Long is fantastic in it as well.
Justin Long, yes, he's fantastic in it as well. It's just I don't want to throw in. I got serious vibes at some point, and again, call me fucking out to lunch, of Human Centipede, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah,
that kind of
again, we should watch the original podcast. Smith goes, "This is like a cuddly Human Centipede."
Okay, I didn't see this, so I'm just coming up with this as watching this. So, Human Centipede, if you haven't seen it, made people throw up in the audience. It spawned 3 sequels. It is 1 and 2 have some artistic merit. Number 3 is just a complete sellout. That really fucking is an awful. They're all awful movies, but they have a little bit of, you know what I mean. They have a little bit of, I won't say charm, ingenuity to them. And I mean, it dissipates. Like the first one is the first one. Like first one had Legendary. I remember had people coming to the video store. Do you have Human Centipede? Blah, blah, blah. I think that and Shrooms at the time were the 2 big films, and for different reasons.
Yep.
And I'm like, no. And it was being banned, and there was just, NC-17 rating. After that, the second one came out. Second one did a little bit further. Third one, they're in a prison, and it's just fucking ass to mouth gross. And you got Eric Roberts in it. So I mean, they got a bigger cast because they got more money, right? The first one was done on a very shoestring budget, but as they go along here, now this film gave me the same feeling as that, which is a feeling that people pay money to have. Like, don't get me wrong, they pay money to have this feeling. It's just not one that I really like. Kevin Smith, so I watch, and I love horror movies. And I loved his vision on it, so I watched it. Now, did it make me feel good? Am I going to watch it again anytime soon? Probably fucking not. But at the same time, I give kudos to this film, and I think it should be watched based on that alone. Now, this is part of a trilogy that Kevin Smith was going to do in Canada. The first one was Tusk. The second one had Johnny Depp's daughter and his daughter in it. It's called Yoga Hosers. And the third one, as far as I know, was supposed to be called Moose Jaws. And if you're from Canada, Moose Jaws in Saskatchewan. It's kind of funny, but as far as I know, that hasn't happened, and it's not in the works, or it's a back burner thing.
Yeah, I think.
But I think it would be fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of things going on here. So much to unpack, as they would say in the.
But if they could do Moose Jaws, like I have to say, when they talked about this and they said it was going to be part of a three Canadian 3-pack. Because Kevin Smith has got a big relation with Canada. Of course, he went to Vancouver Film School in Vancouver. That's where he started his idea for Clerks and started shooting. And he's filmed it here. He's on Degrassi Junior High, which was a big inspiration for him, and he did some Degrassi Next Generation stuff and all that. But at the same time, Moose Jaws, to me, about a killer moose, I think he could do a fucking wicked job. And it was actually, of the 3, it was the one I was the most excited to see, but it's the one that hasn't come to fruition.
I guarantee you, anybody who's interested in how to make movies or produce movies, listen to Kevin and Mosier come up with the fucking idiotic script as they're riffing on the fucking ad. And
we talked about the Grinch.
Mosier throws it into British, lexicon.
Did you talk to him about the Grinch?
No, I'm talking about fucking when there's a literal podcast where they come up with Tusk.
No, I know that. But it said, did you talk to him about? He directed the Grinch, did he not?
Mosier did. Yeah, I was talking to Cardinal.
Oh, never mind. Never mind.
So good, he's doing a thing. But
wait, he directed the Grinch, the animated one.
Watch, and we'll link it, and I'm sure.
He'll link it.
I'm sure he'll be so enthralled, and so will everybody at the VFI. Be enthralled with the Tusk links.
What's the VFI?
It's a long party and a jerk off session and everything that comes with that. But no, just if you want to know how movies are created, listen to at the time
VFS
20-year-old film veteran Kevin Smith riff on a thing and then go, I'm going to make this. And then the next day when he woke up and Twitter said, you should make this, the fucking idiot made it.
Which was great, which is awesome, which is what everybody wants.
It doesn't matter if it's good or bad. It shows you how you make a movie. It gives you the exact recipe. It doesn't matter if you're making Frankenstein or Godzilla or fucking Tusk. Or
if you have enough money, it's proof that if you have enough money and vision, you can make whatever you want.
And Tusk don't cost fucking dick.
No. But the thing that I love the best about it is that he wanted to make it. He was inspired to make it. Is it something anybody else would have financed at any other fucking time? No. But he made it. And honestly, if you were to watch it, it's not a crowd-pleasing movie. It's not something that everyone's going to like.
You don't know that. That's the whole point of like, Jesus Christ. What the fuck movie do you know that as you're rolling into it, you know you're getting a good time when you're seeing
Dances with Wolves?
Like, that's insane. Like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, maybe? I don't know. Like,
exactly, Chitty Chitty Bang. No, fuck that one. Which Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? The first one?
You know what I mean? Star Wars? This sounds like
Star Wars.
Let's watch the fucking
Star Trek 2.
I don't know. Exactly. How the fuck would you know?
Terror on Tour. Anything with John Michael Thor in
it. Friend of the podcast.
Friend of the podcast, John Michael Thor. Canadian, of course.
But you know what I mean? Like,
Anyway, this is a movie that I would say that I would recommend only based on the fact that the bravest part of filmmaking is coming up with something that you think is interesting, that you want to make something of, and doing it. And I give total respect to this. This is not despite what people say, this is not a bad movie.
Lunatic. It doesn't matter if it's a bad movie.
I
gives you the roadmap.
I will probably never watch it again unless there's a lot of people in the room.
It doesn't matter the movie. He gives you the roadmap on which to make any movie.
Anyway, Kevin Smith, I know you're not listening to this, but make
put it in time. Terrible. It's so good.
All right. So that's Tusk, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. I'm not sure where you can find this one. It's very definitely the cover on it's Justin Long. It's all in red. He's half transitioned into a walrus. So check it out. It's a lot of it. I won't even say it's a lot of fun. It's Kevin Smith directed it. And it's got Justin Long and Michael Parks and Johnny Depp in it. And Haley Joel Osment.
Sounds like a big cast. Sounds like a great movie.
Yes. Finally, a Canadian one that just came out in the last 2 years. Was it 2 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
One that I love because it looks like it came right out of film school, and who made it. Again, I'm excited about this one. I didn't do a lot of research on it. I just watched it and I fucking loved it. They played it on Shudder, and if you're not familiar with Shudder Canada, if you're a horror movie fan, you got to get Shudder. It's $5 a month, and it's all the horror movies that come in. They curate all these horror movies. They come in and out. They put new stuff in every couple days or every day, if not, and a lot of stuff that you'd never see any other way. This channel Shudder is something that I really love. And they got lots of series, Eli Roth, The History of Horror, Discovery of Witches, Billy Joe Bob's Trailer Park of Horrors and all that kind of good stuff. Anyway, awesome stuff. This one is a Canadian film called Psycho Goreman. Now, Psycho Goreman is an intergalactic bad guy who's been basically imprisoned in whatever the fuck you want to call it, whatever carbonite or whatever the hell it is, and imprisoned into the earth. And he has this stone that controls him. And the stone's been put nearby. Now, digging up for, I can't even remember what the hell it was, a pool or a house or anyway, a little girl finds the stone that controls this Psycho Goreman, this guy who's risked the entire solar system because he's so fucking evil. And she gets it. Now, this character of the little girl did you watch this, Rob?
Yes.
Is fucking brilliant. Like, she's such a bitch, this little girl, and basically controls this guy who's the warlord of everything, and just basically wants him to do girly things and hang out and so on and so forth, and use him against his enemies. This movie is so much fucking fun. I haven't had this much fun watching a movie in quite a while. Again, extremely amateurish. I'm not sure of the director's background, honestly, but I mean, this is inspired filmmaking. This is something that you could see a story that whether they came around and sitting around drinking and said, we're going to do this, or you take the Tusk thing where we're making this. This movie is so much fun. I have really, I mean, yeah, some of the production values are a little weak, but I mean, for a first feature, or even for a feature, a low budget feature, this thing hits all the right marks and is so much fun. From the depravity and the gore to the guy that plays Psycho Goreman, just the lines and the writing on some of this stuff is freaking brilliant. There's a lot of amateurish about it, but it works in this film.
Can't complain about anything you said. The first 30 minutes of it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, I don't want to compare it to some like shit that is way above its grade, like the Goonies or fucking Jesus
Explorers or
Monster Squad,
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, I'm talking about yeah. But before we get into that nonsense shit with kids and only kids, right? Little bit of Explorers, a little bit of Stand By Me. And then after that, yeah, exactly. You're getting into that 30-minute, 45-minute arc. Different movie. Killer clowns, bunch of nonsense.
Morons from Outer Space.
Sure, yeah. The first half is, or the first 30 minutes is so strong. I haven't seen too many things, and I mean quite literally with children, that good.
Yeah, this is definitely inspired filmmaking. This is something that I will watch something like this all day long with a very weak budget and not the greatest production values. I'll watch something like this all day long because there's a lot, you can tell there's a lot of inspiration, a lot of love behind it. And it makes it so much more interesting. I wish, we watch these corporate films and people go, how can you watch something that costs, $1 million or $20,000 even and like it, compared to we can watch something that's a fucking $100 million just dog that we turn around. But on the surface, yeah, it's a way better. On the surface, it's a way better movie, but the overall journey leaves you feeling flat, and you go, this wasn't inspired. There wasn't any love put in this, and that's the one thing that the secret ingredient is love that people put into their films. And this is, as a filmmaker, potential filmmaker myself, this is something that inspires me, and will inspire, I'm sure, a lot of other people to say, I may have a story, and it may be something, if I was to sit around and I told somebody the story as an offside or something like that, they'd laugh and go, yeah, that's kind of cute. You should do that. But to see someone's vision put in there and the fun that goes in, because this reminds me of there's a lot of scenes that reminded me of Power Rangers, with the bad guys and all that was making me freaking laugh. But this is a horror comedy. An amateur, it doesn't get much better than this. This has not got the polish of most of theirs, and honestly, if it did, it wouldn't be nearly as strong. So again, I only mean good things to the filmmakers of this. I'm not trying to call it amateurish as a bad thing. I'm not trying to say that the budget. I'm sure if anybody, the one thing that filmmakers can say, if I had more money, I would have kept this, that, and the other thing, or bought more of this, that, and the other thing. This one reminds me, and this was one that I hope to do with Rob again, and I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch Turbo Kid. I know there's a sequel coming to it with Mike Lawrence, another Canadian, not really horror film, but in the horror genre, but so much fun, a lot of inspiration, and again, feels that way. You kind of feel like you're in Power Ranger country with a horror twist to it. And again, someone was passionate about making this, which makes it so much more interesting to the viewer if you're passionate about doing it, because it shows. I can't, to any young filmmaker coming up, I would say, don't make something that you're fucking half-assed about. Make what you really, really want to make, and let the people decide, because you're going to put that love into that film, and people are going to see that. Because if you half-ass it, how many corporate movies have we seen where some director gets assigned to a project that he has really no interest in, but in order to get himself out there, he has to make it?
Just keep going.
And honestly, I don't think any great movie has ever come about that way. We've seen some movies that are good, but I personally won't see any great movies come about that. That's why you get these stories from writer directors that are so strong. You know, you go, fuck, how, I mean, not only did he direct it, he wrote it, or not only did he write it, he directed it, because he had such a strong passion and vision to see something like this. He puts it out there. And to me, I mean, not knowing a big history behind Psycho Goreman, this has it written all over it. Again, this is another title that's available on Shudder, or you can go see our buddy Kevin in Edmonton, off of White Mud there, the lobby, and get a copy from him, because this is a Kevin Martin. This is a brilliant film. So much fun. I will watch a dozen films like this before I'll watch a blockbuster that is half-assed, because you know my attendance at theaters is based basically on that. I'll wait for it to come out into, like most people, wait for it to come out into DVD or Blu-ray. And I'm dating myself now, or on streaming, whatever. Before I'll go to the theater and see it. I mean, the last film in the theater I really wanted to see, really wanted to see, other than The Northman, which I just saw and we'll talk about next, basically is X, and that's from Ty West, which I don't know. Did you watch X yet, Rob?
X?
Yeah, from Ty West.
I'll have to figure it out. No.
Fuck. If you gotta get me a copy if you see it, because I really want to see it. It's we won't get into that now, but yeah, that's the one.
Well, we're on a 10-minute countdown here, so we can.
Oh, we are. We got 9 minutes and 21 seconds, 20 seconds, 19 seconds, 17 seconds.
I'm going to be going to see Doctor Strange Multiverse tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, I saw The Northman.
Be posting a review on DawsonCreekMirror.ca.
Also saw, when I was with my kids in Calgary, saw The Bad Guys.
How was that?
You like to see that?
I asked, she had no interest.
Oh, that's too bad, so we could have talked about that one.
Well, since 2005, I don't review kids' movies.
Not even with Blake, eh? Blake doesn't want to see kids'
movies.
I